If you're trying to build a list for yourself and you're trying to see, okay, who do I need on my team? You definitely need a contractor. A distinction needs to be made, especially for rental property owners, between a maintenance worker, someone who can handle the day-to-day maintenance, and a contractor or a contractor crew that can do your rehabs and turnovers and upgrades to apartments and buildings. So one is maintenance, one is upgrades.
Who are the top 5 people in your Rolodex? And I think that this is an interesting one for you specifically, because when you think about the real estate team that everybody talks about, you already wear some of those hats. Like, I don't know if you do your own real estate closings or not. I would assume that they probably at least run them through the firm that your license hangs with. You have a brokerage, you have a property management company. I don't think you have a contracting company. Maybe you have a few maintenance guys in-house or something like that. But when you already have some of these things in place internally, who are the 5 people or the 3 people or the 2 people who are at the top of your Rolodex, if you will?
Yeah. So I think the answer might surprise you a little bit. So I think it's actually important to have a separation between your role in a business as a business owner and some of the hats that you might also wear and have. So I am an attorney, and I could do our own closings, and I could do our own evictions and any other outward facing legal work, but I don't. And one of the main reasons I don't, well, one reason is I'm busy as it is, and I don't need to do the billable hourly work that I just left my law firm and didn't want to continue doing. But the other reason is that you don't have the clarity of perspective. So when we're dealing with a potential large deal, multifamily apartment complex, and there are moving parts, and my business partner and I love the building. We think that there's a ton of potential. We just walk through it, and we're very much invested in wanting to buy it, right? And then we do an inspection on it, and something comes back, like maybe there's a ton of asbestos in the basement, let's say, right? The human nature and the tendency is to just say, let's just gloss over it. We'll skip and cut corners with not wanting to negotiate. We still love the building, so we'll deal with it ourselves. We don't want to put it on the seller to do something about it because we are so invested. Maybe we put a down payment down. Maybe we spent money on an inspection, right? We paid an inspector to do an inspection, and now we're vested. We have a vested interest in it.
Maybe this is the first good deal you've seen in 6 months.
Correct. Exactly.
Stuff like that happens too. When the market is slow, sometimes any deal looks like a good deal.
Exactly. And when that happens, you're not thinking clearly, and you're not doing yourself and your own business a service by being in that position if you're also supposed to be the independent advisor. So that's why when we do our deals, there are a couple of attorneys that are in my, so to speak, virtual Rolodex that we work every single time with, and they're the ones that do everything A to Z when it comes to closing a rental property deal, and also negotiating with the other attorney and doing all that stuff. So I think it's important. I think separation is important regardless of what your expertise might be. Now, because I have that expertise, I have the inside knowledge of how it should go and what I can say, what we can and can't do. So I have that knowledge, but I'm still going to another second pair of eyes to give me that clarity that I'm lacking. So in terms of people, 1, yes, attorneys, and actually several of them. 2, definitely, contractors are extremely important. We do have them, quote unquote, in-house. So we have contractors that work for us all the time, but I would still put them on that list. Like, if you're trying to build a list for yourself and you're trying to see, okay, who do I need on my team? You definitely need a contractor. You need more than one. You actually need a few different contractors. I think
a general and some specialists. Yeah,
exactly. A distinction needs to be made, especially for rental property owners, between a maintenance worker, someone who can handle the day-to-day maintenance, and a contractor or a contractor crew that can do your rehabs and turnovers and upgrades to apartments and buildings. So one is maintenance, one is upgrades. And we have both, and we have several of each. Definitely an insurance broker. It's extremely important to have really good insurance. I own all my real estate in separate LLCs. LLCs are good. I'm all for separating and having the liability separation, but there's still no substitute for having really good insurance. So you need to have a good insurance broker. We have 2 of them. Again, because of the scale, we go to this one. He'll give us a price. We'll go to that one. He'll give us a price. Sometimes we'll go with one guy. Sometimes we'll go with the other one. And then in addition to the ones that I've already mentioned, you obviously I think you need a real estate agent to source deals for you and to help you find deals, especially if they're plugged into the market and they are the type of agent that has the investor mindset, and hopefully they're an investor themselves. So in our case, yes, that's all in-house because we have a team of agents like that. And, obviously we're real estate brokers ourselves, but I think it's extremely important to have that person in your Rolodex and be able to talk to them and bounce ideas off of them, and also possibly find you really good deals. Quick plug, my brokerage is called Serenity Real Estate Team. We're out of Albany, New York. If you guys are looking in Albany, if anyone's listening, watching, and you want to try to buy something in or around the capital region, Andrew can share my information and we'll put it in the description of this video or the comments, and you guys can reach out. And then the final person on the list that I would say you want to have is a banker or a mortgage broker. And again, we have several. We work with a lot of different banks and credit unions and commercial mortgage departments. But you need to have an in and a line to them that can help you if you're doing the BRRRR strategy to help you get the refinances done and get the maximum out of your properties that you need to get. Or if you're not going with the BRRRR with private money, but you want to use bank financing, you need to have someone like that as well. So those are my 5. And I would definitely say that's what everyone should be aspiring to have.
I think that's a pretty good list, but I think that you hit on a couple of really important points there, and that's having multiples in the same position. When you're talking about insurance, it's good to get quotes from multiple places. When you're talking about real estate agents, it's good to be working with more than one agent because everybody has different networks. What this guy finds, this lady may not find, and vice versa. There's a lot of different agents out there with different networks and different levels of expertise. And I think that it's important to mention that if you are going to work with an agent, they need to understand the investment world. It can't be somebody that only does single family residential where they're more concerned with the color of the paint and where how the curtains look than how old the boiler is and whether this thing has a roof on it or not. So that's something that's worth noting as well.